Welcome to the Rachel Varga podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Varga, double board certified aesthetic nurse specialist since 2011 with over 20,000 rejuvenation procedures performed. I'm an international clinical trainer for other physicians and nurses as well, celebrity skin expert, having been featured on some of the world's top proactive aging podcasts, and much, much more. Learn more at rachelvarga.ca and enjoy today's episode. Welcome everyone to today's live recording right here on the Rachel Varga podcast. In today's show, we will be discussing a healthy mouth for a healthy smile and the importance of non-toxic beauty and self-care products and practices and all of that. Because Big Cosmo is just as bad as Big P these days. So buyer beware, watching out for those parabens, phthalates, sulfates, artificial dyes, fragrances that seem to be snuck into just about everything, from your laundry detergent to your dish soap to your deodorants to your skincare to your hair care to your oral care. So Trina and I, she is the founder and CEO of Primal Life Organics. She's going to be hanging out with us today and sharing some of her insights on the importance of a healthy mouth for a healthy smile. And also the mouth is, right close by to the brain. So there's a connection with also gut health and brain health when your mouth is healthy. So let me tell you a little bit about today's guest. Trina Felber is the founder and CEO of Primal Life Organics. As a registered nurse with a master's degree in anesthesia, Trina disrupted the beauty industry and exposed the hyper-toxic personal care products poisoning us by Big Cosmo. She started her natural dental and skincare company in 2008 and puts her nurse's care into every product she makes. Trina is a multi-million-dollar entrepreneur and best-selling author of Beauty's Dirty Secret. She has made the Inc. 5,000 list 5 years in a row and has been featured in Dr. Oz, Paleo Magazine, ABS, CBS, NBC, Fox affiliates, and on hundreds of podcasts worldwide. Welcome, Trina Felber from Primal Life Organics. How are you today?
I'm good, Rachel. Thank you for having me on. I'm super excited to mouth off with you today.
To mouth off? Yeah, that's actually a really funny play on words because we are going to be focusing on the mouth in today's episode. So one of the things that I'm really excited to learn about with Trina is how the microbiome inside the mouth is related to the skin and also the whiteness of the teeth. So what is this connection with the microbiome inside the mouth related to the skin and the whiteness of the teeth? Everybody wants great skin. Everybody wants fresh breath and a white smile.
Well, both of those things create confidence no matter what situation you're in. If you have a healthy smile, if your teeth are white, you're going to be more apt to smile big and meet people. Obviously, I like to say your skin is your logo. It's something that people notice, both your skin and your teeth. People notice that right away. So if your skin and your teeth are healthy, you're just going to have more confidence. The microbiome is the bacteria, the healthy bacteria that is supposed to be living inside your mouth. When you have a healthy bacteria inside your mouth, then the bacteria helps to create the nitric oxide. Nitric oxide production is extremely important for overall health. It's important for sleep, regulation of sleep, your immune system, reducing inflammation everywhere. Good nitric oxide production can also keep everything healthy. When your gut is healthy, your skin can be healthy. With the right bacteria inside the mouth, the wrong bacteria, the bacteria that causes plaque and causes cavities, won't be able to thrive and survive. The bacteria that causes cavities and plaque is a yellowing color of bacteria. So if you don't have that bacteria inside your mouth, your teeth will actually look whiter naturally. So having a healthy smile and clear, beautiful skin, believe it or not, can start with the bacteria inside your mouth.
I'm not surprised. about that. And one of the things that I really notice about my mouth is if I slack off on flossing or doing oral rinsing, I actually will notice a little bit of gum irritation or swelling. And what that also tells me is that, okay, if I'm noticing points of irritation or redness, with the eyes or on the skin, on the hair, the nails, the mouth, that can be a sign that maybe you need to also increase your biohacking. It could be a sign of increasing your intake of antioxidants and immune support so that your body can ward off different things that might be trying to make its way in through points of vulnerability, which could very well be through the mouth and then also related to the gut. So sometimes people will meet with me and they're like, oh, I have this irritation around my mouth. And this is something called perioral dermatitis. Tend to see this a lot with changes of season. So if you're having irritation around the mouth, corners of the mouth, that is directly tied to the microbiome in the mouth and in the gut. So look at what's going on in the skin as a sign, actually a late sign of what's going on the inside. Do you have anything else to add to that, Trina?
Yeah, we talk about gut microbiome a lot. There's been a lot, written about it on the internet, a lot of podcast hosts talking about it, all sorts of things. But what a lot of people aren't talking about is the fact that the gut actually starts inside the mouth. And if you want to have a healthy gut bacteria, it's almost impossible to have a healthy gut bacteria if the bacteria inside your mouth is not healthy, because you have to stop and think that everything that you swallow inside your mouth, which is every single thing that gets inside your mouth, you will swallow. And if you're swallowing the bacteria that causes plaque and gum disease and cavities, you are swallowing the wrong bacteria that's going to feed and seed the rest of your gut bacteria. So actually, creating a healthy microbiome or a healthy balanced microbiome inside your mouth is actually going to help increase or heal your gut bacteria. And like Rachel said, if your gut bacteria is not healthy, a late sign of that is skin problems like acne and psoriasis and things like that. A lot of times when you heal the gut bacteria, you can see that your skin starts to clear up naturally. The other factor is products. If you're using the wrong products that have harsh ingredients in them, and for dental products, that could be SLS or sodium lauryl sulfate. It can be peroxide. It can be triclosan, artificial ingredients like artificial colors and artificial flavors, all sorts of things like that. That can cause irritation, not just inside the mouth, but also, as she was saying, around the mouth. It can cause like irritation to the skin. So making sure that the ingredients that you're using are not going to be caustic. I always say caustic. It's a harsh word, but it's exactly what the chemicals in skincare as well as dental products can do. And if they're doing that to your skin, just imagine what they're doing to the delicate tissues inside your mouth and your digestive system.
Yes, everything is connected. And thank you for making that connection, because not a lot of people are talking about this enough. And just a reminder, really start to get intuitive with your skin. Your skin, again, is a bit of a late warning sign. So say, for example, you've had more sweets or alcohol or foods that you shouldn't have, you haven't been sleeping enough, you've been stressed out, your skin will show the impacts of that a few days later. So always stay on top of things. At the first sign of a disturbance or whatnot with the skin, redness, breakouts, even pigmentation and melasma can start to creep up if we're kind of slacking on certain areas of your life. And that's when you really need to dive into detoxing, taking your antioxidants, all these things to support healthy immune function, essentially, so that your body can ward off pathogens when they come in and trim out those senescent cells that can build up. And, plaque could almost be considered that a buildup of cells that we need to clear out a little bit. So I would love to hear from you, because you've done so much in the space of dental health. And actually, after nursing school, I was considering either becoming a medical doctor, a dentist, or a naturopath. And then I became an entrepreneur, a nursepreneur, like you have instead, figuring that I could make a slightly different impact in the world in a specific way. So I would love to share, I'd love for you to share with us, Trina, Why is dental health so important?
Dental health impacts, we don't even think about this, but dental health impacts every system in your body, not just your skin, but it impacts heart health. Heart disease has been directly correlated to the bacteria inside the mouth. In fact, the bacteria that causes plaque inside the mouth is or can be the same bacteria that causes plaque inside the heart valves or the heart vessels, which in essence means that somehow that bacteria is getting inside the mouth, and most likely it's through the gum tissue. If you have what I call leaky gum syndrome, like leaky gut syndrome, leaky gum syndrome usually happens first. It's the redness, it's the irritation, it's the bleeding, the inflammation. You have those symptoms in your gum tissue. What happens is the junctions in the cells of those tissues widens, and then pathogens like bacteria and fungus and all sorts of things that shouldn't be able to get into the body can pass through into the bloodstream. Unfortunately, the blood that is passing through the gum tissue is going to go all over the body. It's not going to go to your liver to be detoxified or cleansed. It travels all through the body, which is why the health of the mouth is directly related to brain health. It's related to heart health. It's related to infertility for both men and women. It's related to preterm labor and diabetes and thyroid disease, every single inflammatory disease. Because just like I mentioned earlier with nitric oxide production, if the bacteria, so there's the key components of nitric oxide production include the right bacteria. You have to have the healthy bacteria in both your mouth and your gut, and your saliva has to be healthy. And then that will help increase nitric oxide production. So if you have unhealthy bacteria inside your mouth or your gut, then you're not going to be producing as much nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a vasodilator, and it's important, like I said, for heart health, for fertility, for both men and women, and all sorts of other health issues. So a healthy mouth is extremely important when you're trying to get overall health. And I know you mentioned detox. And one of the things that people don't, or places that people forget to detox, is the mouth. The mouth is exposed to so many things. Like, think about it. You're breathing in pollution all day long. Your mouth is directly connected. I always call it the airspace in your mouth, your nose, and your sinuses. There's complete airspace. And then that is related or connected to your lungs. You're breathing in that air, and your gut, you're swallowing everything. So if you are someone who suffers from frequent sinus infections or gets colds or the flu frequently, there's a good chance that all of that is starting with the pathogens inside your mouth, because that airspace is all connected. Detoxing your mouth is extremely important. When I have people switch to my program that detoxes your mouth, they tend to notice that they get sick a lot less often. They don't get those sinus infections, and they are just overall much healthier.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing all of that. One other thing I'd like to add is you mentioned yeast, fungi, toxins, and I would add a fourth: parasites. Parasites are actually spread through contact, through the hands, through breath, and also through bodily fluids. And we tend to forget about this because it's kind of gross. However, in discussion on scientific roundtables and with, 30, 40-year veteran parasitologists, 80% of the North American population are afflicted with this stuff. And in fact, about a year ago, I brought this up to a scientific roundtable of the concept of pathogens and parasites in the airways actually contributing to things that we were seeing around the globe with breathing concerns. So it's interesting when certain things on the market get banned or really difficult to get a hold of, and potentially have quite profound impacts for other things like clearing out parasites. It's just crazy to think about. So it really is up to you to find people that you trust, to learn information, to help you stay on the straight and narrow and the right track so that you can show up as your best version, breathe clearly, and have a brain that functions well also. And what we talk about here, even though Trina and I are both registered nurses and, are sitting at the tables with some of the brightest minds in North America, this is not medical advice. This is educational information only. If you think you have a medical condition, you must seek the guidance of a licensed physician. I would also add to, why is dental health so important? If we want to make a positive impression in our personal and professional lives, we want to show up as our most well-groomed, composed, beautiful, and radiant version. We got to have a good looking mouth. We don't want to have visible plaque. We don't want to have bad breath. This might be, I can actually think of a family member who has the worst breath ever. And I keep saying, you need to detox, like do this detox, clean up your act. Don't use these products. Don't get this. Don't do that. And I think that some people are just very unaware of how bad their breath can be. So I know that you study dental health and also have had, numerous conversations and talks with experts. How do you know? How can someone find out if they have bad breath or not? Because most of the time people aren't going to tell them.
Well, what's really interesting is I always say bad breath is the first sign that you have an imbalance in the microbiome inside your mouth. If you wake up in the morning, so we were brainwashed into believing that bad breath is normal. They've been selling us breath mints and gum and toothpaste and mouthwash and all of these things to help get rid of bad breath. And in reality, probably 99% of those things are false claims. They actually cause your bad breath to get worse because they're killing off your good bacteria, not just your bad bacteria. Here's the problem. When you have, and I always like to use little props. I always say that, say this is the bacteria inside your mouth that causes bad breath. It causes cavities. It causes gum disease. These guys overpower the good guys. So if you have too many of these guys inside your mouth, the good guys cannot take over. These guys like acid. So most of the foods that we eat, the coffee that we're drinking, the red wine, the meat, those are all acidic by nature. Processed foods are acidic by nature. These guys are going to thrive in that environment. Whereas the healthy bacteria inside your mouth lives in an alkaline environment, which makes sense. When people are cleansing, they're creating an alkaline environment, inside the body. Think about alkaline water, any type of alkaline cleanse, veggies, juice cleanses. They're trying to create that alkalinity. Cancer is an acidic type of disease. Cancer actually, the cells of cancer actually create more acid. When they die, they release acid so that the other cancer cells can thrive. So it creates its own environment. Same thing is happening inside the mouth. These guys thrive on acid, thrive on creating more acid. And this is what is going to cause bad breath when you have too many of these guys and not enough of the good guys. The good guys inside your mouth create an alkaline environment. Your saliva is going to be more alkaline. It's going to nourish the good guys. The problem with the products on the market is that they're creating more acid inside the mouth, allowing these guys to take over. So then you end up with the gum disease, you end up with cavities, plaque buildup, and then all the internal inflammation tends to follow that. So what I like to do is tell people it's not really a matter of switching or changing up your routine for dental health. It's more a matter of swapping out what you're using so that you can get rid of these guys. So if you wake up with bad breath in the morning, you have too many of these guys. If during the day you end up with bad breath or a foul mouth or sour taste in your mouth, that is because you have too much of the bad guys inside your mouth. And it's not hard to switch. All you have to do, or one of the best things to do, is switch the products that you're using. If you switch to products that are going to help support more alkaline activity inside your mouth, you're going to be able to kill these guys, because these guys can't thrive in an alkaline environment. So when you're brushing with something that's alkaline, it's going to actually kill these guys. Your teeth will be whiter, your breath will be fresher, and you're going to feel so much better in the long run. Your dental checkups will be better in the long run as well.
Wonderful. Well, I'm happy to report that I woke up this morning with, actually, I was like, I know I haven't brushed my teeth yet this morning. It feels like I just brushed my teeth. And oral health is so important. There's nothing worse than, rolling over to your partner and it's just like, oh, darling, you got to go brush your teeth. It feels funky. It's not very attractive. So, yeah, staying on top of your oral health so that you can wake up as this like beautiful goddess in the morning, that you're just going to feel great and ready to rock and roll and maybe have some fun in the morning too and not feel self-conscious. And this is really important when we're wanting to present our best versions. Having good breath and good hygiene is like 101, and using products that are free of toxins is also, I would say, the most important layer to that. So I would love to talk about this concept of how conventional dental and skincare products are actually causing poor dental health and aging. How are products on the market not only making us sick, but also aging us?
That's a great question. Especially as we get older, and it's not just women, men are interested in looking younger and healthier because when you look healthy, you look younger. So how
25% of the listeners are the gents. I hear you. I see you
Right?
guys.
Seriously. And think about it. When you meet someone, the first thing that you notice is their mouth, their smile. How many times have you met someone, you're attracted to them, and the minute they open their mouth and they smile and you see yellow, like dingy yellow teeth, you immediately get turned off. And it might not be right and it might not be fair, but it's what happens. People judge people by the condition of their teeth and their mouth. And that says a lot because instinctively and intuitively, without even realizing it, we know that if someone's mouth is not healthy, then most likely they suffer from internal disease as well, whether they've been diagnosed yet or not. In fact, there were studies that showed that people on interviews, they've conducted studies of, companies when you're interviewing someone, if someone sits down and they have yellow teeth or an unhealthy looking smile, would you choose them over someone else, who may have less experience, but has a healthy smile, and they go with the healthy person because they know that the unhealthy mouth is going to not just be an unhealthy mouth, but it's an unhealthy body. So it's really, it doesn't stop at your mouth. The skincare and dental care products cause premature aging because of the inflammation that they cause, not just inside the mouth or on the skin, but internally in the body. The ingredients in dental products, as well as skincare products, typically are toxic or made from chemicals. One of the things I always say is, if you're using, like, how do you know if you're buying your products from a chemical company? Well, first off, if you don't understand or can't read the ingredient list, if it reads like a chemical, it most likely is a chemical. If it's not a food-based, if it's not plant-based or earth-based, and by earth-based I mean like clays or things that come from the earth, charcoal, clay, things like that. You want your skin and your dental products to have ingredients that are from the earth. Those are the things that are going to have real nutrients. They're going to have vitamins, essential oil, or essential fatty acids and minerals and things like that. And that is what's going to help your internal body, the cells, actually detoxify and able to function the way they're supposed to. Internally, if your cells are healthy, then it goes all the way up to your tissues being healthy and your organs being healthy. And then your skin is an organ. It's your largest organ. I always tell people, if your skin isn't happy, if you look in the mirror and you see things that you don't like, premature aging, wrinkles, dehydrated skin, those are signs that your skin isn't healthy. And it's the organ that you can see. Same thing with your gum tissue. If it's red, if it's bleeding, inflamed, you can see those two things. And if they're inflamed or not happy, imagine what the internal organs look like, because those are all signs that something's going on, that your body is not able to function the way it's supposed to detox. Detox is the key. If your skin and your body can detox, you have a better chance of staying healthy. It's when it's congested, any organ is congested all the way down to the cellular level. If the cells are congested and that tissue is congested, then there's less health that can happen at that area or, overall.
Wonderful. And yes, just to echo what you were saying, at the first sign of a disturbance, you just gotta, do a little extra to reduce any initial signs of inflammation as it happens. So being in tune with your skin, being in tune with your gut, being in tune with your mouth. A lot of people, they just kind of brush things off, no pun intended, maybe not brushing their teeth well enough or flossing enough. And then they just kind of let things linger and they're like, oh, it's not that bad, that they just kind of get desensitized and used to it. And then they get all sorts of issues that creep up. So just at the first sign of redness, irritation, discomfort, really bump up your oral care and your personal care practices. I would love to give the audience just a couple of tips here on deciphering product ingredients. After getting my bachelor's of science in nursing, I did take Gen Chem, Organic Chem, and Biochem, which is really helpful when it comes down to me actually looking at ingredients. And I do this for my clients. We hop on a one-on-one call. They let me know what products they're using. And I actually go through the ingredients list of things they're using and then give them the yay or the nay, or healthier, cleaner, non-toxic alternatives like some of your oral care products, which is fantastic. And it's really confusing for the general consumer because a word that might sound like a chemical, like a simple amino acid, for example, will sound like, a toxic chemical to somebody. So we just want to, make some things clear here. And the word quote unquote natural, green, or clean are marketing terms, and they're not always best. So it's really difficult for the consumer to know how to shop and what products to use, because anything from planet Earth could be anything, right? Petroleum, last time I heard, is not great for us. So just watch out for these marketing terms. And if you're ever not sure about anything you're using, just make sure that you're getting products from trusted sources like Trina, like myself, that really care about helping to create happy, well-functioning, and pure humans. Because when you're pure, when your detox pathways are humming along just so, you're going to be able to kick off things that are trying to interfere with you: body, mind, spirit, and energy. Now, I always like to ask guests on the show, Trina, you are sitting at the tables with some of the most influential health entrepreneurs, angel investors, speakers, researchers, all of these things. You've been in the game. You're a bit of an OG. You've been in the game for a while. So when you chat with people and you're talking business, your, personal, professional time off, I'm curious, what is radiance to you? How would you describe this word that you may be thinking about right now? If you haven't thought about this word before, what is radiance to you? What makes a human magnetic, attractive, illuminated?
I think it has to do with confidence. And if you're confident in how you look and how you feel, you're going to glow naturally. So radiance to me has more to do with an internal glow, because if you're healthy on the inside, like I was talking about, if your cells are healthy, if you're able to detox your tissues, you're going to feel so much better. You're not going to have brain fog. Your gut will be healthy. Your skin will look good. Yeah, using the right products, you're going to have a white, healthy smile. So radiance to me just means that overall feeling of just being healthy and feeling it and knowing it and then living it.
Wonderful. What are some things that you do in your life to stay cool, calm, and collected? Some of your favorite biohacking practices and some of your favorite detox practices?
Oh, you know what? I'm probably like you. It's something that I live every day. I've incorporated so many different types of techniques into my daily life. One of the best biohacking things that I've ever done was gotten rid of sugar. It doesn't sound like, it sounds like such a little thing. If you've ever gotten detox from sugar and stayed off of sugar, you realize that it's actually not hard to do. The thought of it for most people is what's hard. Once you do it, you don't even care. You're not craving sugar. But that probably is one of the biggest biohacks that I've ever done, is just take myself off sugar, because then the body can cleanse and function more normally. The other things, obviously, since I've created my own skincare and dental care line, I've removed all of those toxins. Women and men don't realize it, but they're bombarded every single day with pollutants in personal care products, deodorant as well, hair care products. For women, makeup. If you wear makeup, you've probably added I would say probably 100 to 150 extra toxins that you're applying every single day. Because when you look at makeup, including the healthy versions of makeup, I'm not saying don't wear makeup. I'm just saying be cognizant of what you're putting on your skin. You're polluting your body with just toxins that can cause an imbalance in not just the microbiome, but also internally in your skin. So those are the types of things that I've done. Obviously, there's other things, including like saunas, using infrared saunas, doing cryotherapy. One of my favorite biohacks is something that I've developed, which is my teeth whitening system. It uses both red and blue. I know, you're a big biohacker, so everybody probably has heard you talk about red light therapy.
Oh, I did my red light therapy in sauna this morning already.
Yeah. Yeah. So red light therapy, that's another hack that I like to do is red light therapy. But my teeth whitening system I developed uses blue light and red light. So you can set it to red light, you can set it to blue light, and you can set it to both red and blue light. The red light therapy does the same thing for your gum tissue as it does for skin tissue, because it's the same type of cells. So a lot of people think if you have gum disease or receding gums, you can't heal that, but it's not true. It's epithelial cells. It just needs the right environment. The problem is the bacteria and the acids continue to wear away. So your mouth is harder to heal, but it can heal. So the red light therapy on my teeth whitening system will help increase blood flow, reduce inflammation, and increase collagen production in your gum tissue. The blue light, actually, Harvard did a study. Blue light set at the right frequency, which this is, inside the mouth actually causes these guys to explode. Literally explode. There's a piece in the bacteria, a component. I always say it's like this little heme molecule that's inside each of the bacteria that is acidic, that causes all those harmful things. Exposed to blue light, it causes that piece to explode. And when it explodes, it causes the death of the bacteria. So just using blue light inside the mouth will actually kill these guys and leave your mouth more alkaline by nature. And then the gel that I created to go with this is peroxide free, because peroxide can also destroy the good bacteria, can be harsh on your enamel as well as your gum tissue. So it's peroxide free. It uses clay to help remineralize the teeth. It uses an olive oil base because olive oil is soothing and has some nutrients in it that's really good for your gum tissue. It has essential oils that are going to help establish a good microbiome, kill the bad guys, and help whiten the teeth. And it also has hydroxyapatite to help rebuild the enamel. Your enamel is the whitest part of your teeth. And a lot of times people don't realize their teeth are yellow or blue tinged, not just because of the bacteria, but because their enamel is really thin. And if you rebuild the enamel, thicken it, so if the white part of the tooth, if you can thicken the white part of the tooth, then you will have a whiter teeth. You'll have stronger teeth. You'll be more cavity resistant, and you won't get as many or have cavities as frequently or at all, to be honest with you. So this is one of my biohacking things that I do. Now I do it probably 3 days a week. Initially, we recommend doing it 5 days a week.
Wonderful. I look forward to trying that. I'm particularly interested in the red light for the inside of the mouth. Just an FYI, if you're prone to skin disturbances like melasma, you do want to be careful with light exposure. So if you have any questions about if you have conditions like melasma, just send me an email, info@rachelvarga.ca, and I will help you out with that. And yes, big fan of light therapy. And it's funny, you mentioned that the bacteria there has a certain frequency, and that blue light is the frequency that can kill that bacteria. And one of the things that I'm learning more and more is that it truly is all about frequency. I truly feel that the future of health wellness, becoming our most powerful versions, becoming our most radiant, beautiful, slowing aging versions is all about frequency. So the tech, we're just on, I think, the precipice of this. And we're at the point in frequency and energy medicine that we can literally identify the frequency of bacteria, the frequency of different pathogens, and zap it without any type of ingredient. It's going by frequency. I've used some of this tech myself, I kid you not, for detoxing, and it's quite profound. So yes, oral health, super important for your body, mind, spirit, energy, your detoxification practices, having your mouth in a state that is able to ward off different pathogens and parasites will help you feel better. You'll have less brain fog. You're going to age slower, and all of the beautiful machinery in your beautiful body will be functioning optimally. So I would love for everyone here to learn more about today's guest, Trina Felber, and her Dental Detox in the link of the description of this episode. When you use that link, you are going to get access to exclusive savings as well. So Dental Detox, yes, this is amazing. I can't wait to try some of your products myself too. I'm sure we'll do a follow-up IG Live or something like that as well. And do you have any closing words for us here today on the Rachel Varga podcast?
Well, good health starts inside the mouth. I remember hearing that when I was a kid. I just never knew what it meant, but it's really true. And I guess the main thing to understand is if you're going to a regular dentist, a conventional dentist, by I guess the way that if they're not biological or holistic, you may not, don't expect them to understand if you start using more natural products. They will not get it. They unfortunately don't understand the microbiome and the effect it has on your entire health. Whether they get it or they don't, I don't know. In my experience, working with a biological or a holistic dentist is much more effective. So I do encourage people to look for a holistic or a biological dentist. But if you can't, because you can't find one in your area, here, this is what I tell people. They're so important that I live in Ohio and my biological dentist is in Arizona. So I go, it's a good reason to go on vacation twice a year or once a year, depending on how often you go.
You go to Sedona?
Well, it's in Scottsdale. She's in Scottsdale. So, but yeah, it's really worth the money and the time to go to a biological dentist. They actually do more of an in-depth exam, not just your teeth, but they do your jaw and microbiome and all sorts of things. So just making sure that you are aware that your dentist may not understand. If you make the switch to natural products, they may not understand and may try and still tell you that fluoride is best. And you'll just have to use your brain on that one.
Yeah, use your brain for sure. It's all about using the brain. So in order to help all of you listening to the show here on the Rachel Varga podcast, Trina and I really want you to be able to use your brain in the highest and most powerful capacity, which is why Trina and I would be considered disruptors in the beauty and self-care industry through sharing research and education. Coming from the aesthetic medicine world, yeah, a lot of the products that are offered are super toxic. So what I've been doing in my research is shedding awareness on the topic of this toxic bucket theory. If rejuvenation is offered to somebody and they're already sick, they're inflamed, their mouth is a mess, right? Their gut's a mess. They have visible sign of skin inflammation and irritation, redness, puffiness to the eyes, their hair is falling out, they're tired, their hormones are off, their toxic bucket's full. If you go and do rejuvenation on them, it might actually tip them over, and then they have delayed healing and non-ideal responses, and maybe even an increase in side effects. So that's actually why I wrote my most recent paper in a UK medical journal, Journal of Aesthetic Nursing, talking about the importance of really working in a more non-toxic way and a specific algorithm. It's an open source paper. You can all check it out at rachelvarga.ca/research. And I definitely do. Trina, you'll be super proud of me here, talking about the importance of patient selection and understanding that you don't want to add insult to injury. If you're wanting to do rejuvenation, you have to make sure that your toxic bucket is as empty as possible, because if you do something, it might just tip over that bucket. And then in our community, Trina, we are super connected with other nurses and practitioners that work in the space of breast implant illness. And we hear the stories behind the scenes of individuals that are actually experiencing harm after having rejuvenation. So this stuff isn't for everybody. Rejuvenation isn't for everybody. If you're going to do anything, clean up your body, mind, spirit, energy. Make sure you're detoxing your air, water, lighting, electromagnetics with regular detoxing, and using non-toxic beauty and self-care products. It has been an absolute pleasure having you here on the show, Trina from Primal Life Organics. Everybody check out more about Trina Felber and her Dental Detox in the link of the description of this episode. Do you have any closing words for us today?
Oh, just, you know what, if you can do anything for yourself and your health and your family, make sure that your mouth is healthy. That's going to impact your health the most. And then everything else sort of falls in line as long as you're taking care of everything the way you're supposed to be. But thank you, Rachel, so much for mouthing off with me today. I had so much fun.
Lovely. Thank you for taking the time to be here. And your mouth is, pretty close by to your brain. So if you're looking for the connection, it's literally right next door. So reduce that brain fog, get better sleep, be more beautiful, take care of the mouth, and speak beautiful, radiant words. I'll see you all next time right here on the Rachel Varga podcast.